Hey YouTube, it's Apex 5 1 hitting you back with another video. What I've got for you today is a review of a belt that I wouldn't necessarily have in my collection, but I'm glad see I can bring it for you guys. It's actually on let's see, it's on loan from a friend. Thankfully, he said I could borrow it and bring it to you guys, give you a little more options on your content, which is always a goal I kind of strive for. You know, variety is the spice. So thank you to let's see, Tony, the undisputed cruiserweight champion. What we've got for you today is the WWE Cruiserweight Championship belt. This belt came around in about 2001, 2002 when let's see, WWE bought WCW. It came out in kind of honor and respect to the other cruiserweight championship. You can see it in the shape of the main plate. It really harkens back to the WCW. Where they really change it is in the side plates, because for the WCW belt, it was a 3-plater, and on the side it had one long side plate with the WCW logo, of course. I can't recall if it had a logo plate like the WWE's did or not. If you guys could, let me know in the comments, that would be awesome. But we'll start with this one, as we usually do, from left to right. We will go to the male snap boxes. I always say female and goof it up, but it is a 2x8 male snap set. It still has the patch boxes. I believe this is a 2002 belt, so they were still really early in their replica making, and they were still pretty basic and stuff. You see the snap box doesn't have any kind of tooling. It's not the textured stuff or anything. It's just another piece of, that pleather stuff. Which, that being said, between this version and the older belts, like I have my 2001 Big Eagle right there. I have it to compare straps. It's way better than what it was before. Way softer, way less plasticky feeling, way less brittle. This belt is 19 years old, and there's no cracking or anything. It's still very soft. Half of it is that it was well taken care of too. But it's better material, so it's gonna last longer. So we've got over here, you've got that floral tooling on the side. It has a little bit of tooling around the snap box there. Then around this side, it's got that kind of, it makes that kind of octagonal shape. And you've got the floral up here, 2x8 on the males, like I said. You come over here, and on the strap is that lovely WWE Champion tooling that goes all around, top and bottom. And of course, they don't have, they do have the trademark down there. I thought they didn't have the registered trademark on the WWE logo, but they do. So then you move on to the side plate. It's a pretty basic one, but it's distinctive to this belt. We all know the kind of wrestling ring shape that's on the side there. Got the dot patterns on the top. And then the kind of points that honor and harken back to the main plate there. We'll get there in a second. You have the red kind of floral. I do like how they use color in this belt. It's not just a black and white belt, with a blue globe, that kind of basic thing. It is its own shape. It has its own colors. Then you move on to the other inner side plate. Got your point design up here, the dots, and then the kind of sunburst over the WWE logo. The logo is pretty good. The etching is pretty deep. You can see it right there. It's not bad. It's still 2mm. You can see the plates are pretty thin, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. So then you got your kind of red floral design kind of going back to there over here too. And the dot design underneath. And on the other side, the plates are identical. You could switch these plates. I don't even think they're necessarily mirrored. They're identical. You got your red floral design down there with the gold in between, WWE logo. We did black out the trademarks there you see in the corner. That was just done with a pen years ago, like a Sharpie, like not like a ballpoint or something like that. I might paint those over for Tony. I might make that decision later. But even the swoosh looks pretty good. For a 2002 belt with not great etching and only 2mm plates. Then you go over here, you got your other outer side plate, identical to the other one. Got that 4-corner ring pattern, dot pattern up there, your spikes on the top, and then the red stuff, like I said. Then the specialty property of plate, it's not a kind of stock property of plate like they'd put on a bunch of other stuff. Like it would say WWE here, of course. But this one is a special cruiserweight plate that they put the kind of dot and spike design on. And that actually looks pretty good for depth. That paint looks pretty good. So then, of course, on the other side, you still have the WWE logo tooling. Then you come over here to the 2x5 female snaps. The strap has a bit of scratches and stuff. It's an old strap. It was not, just for display. It's been used. It has character. It's seen some days. But it still looks great. It's still a great strap. It's nice and floppy. I'll show you the flop a little bit later. But we're going to flip over the belt. Look at the back. Here's the back. And something I think is kind of nice, especially for backs of belts, is that it doesn't have the kind of textured backing. It's just the smooth stuff. To me, that looks like leather backing. That there's a piece of leather on the top. There's a little bubbling just because the belt is old. It's got great creasing there. No cracking at all. It does have the stitching around the outside and where the snap box is, but, what can you do? It was 2002. Cindy Lou Who, I can make rhymes too. But, yes, it's got gold snaps. I might see about getting black snaps for this just to make it blend a little better. It looks kind of nice with the gold, actually. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but we'll see. We'll see what Tony sees. Then you've got, the patch in the center, an old Figures Inc patch. This is a 2002. You saw it here. So this belt is 19 years old, and it looks really good. The only downside is I had to kind of do some love on this belt. Stone replacements and some kind of buffing and stuff, and I replaced a few of the snaps too. This one I'll have to work on because the snap head actually fell off, so it's not just one that can be replaced and re-screwed in. If you can look, you can see there's a screw cylinder in there. So I'll have to maybe Dremel that out or something and get that screw out. I do have replacement screws. I do have a gold screw that, like, in the wings. I have one sitting on the table that I can use for it. It's just getting that screw out. Then you have the 2x8 male side and stuff like that. This strap looks really good for how old it is. I still just can't get over it. It has a really solid leather cut. I like how it is around there. And then because I forgot and I'm a goof, I'm going to do a review of the main plate. I did the side plates and then I flipped it, but that's okay. We got there in the end. You and I. I don't know. We got there, but here's the main plate. You've got that kind of spike pattern on the top. That's what kind of harkens back to the classic Cruiserweight title from WCW. The stones are quite nice. They are stock, so they're not going to be terribly shimmery or anything, but they look really good for what they are. They still kind of shine in the light and stuff, catch different angles. Got your WWE logo, which is surprisingly good. That etching is good. It's stamping. I know it's not etching, but And you know, even in the swoosh, like I said, the swoosh underneath looks really good. You got the kind of basic text, World Wrestling Entertainment. The paint looks really good. There's not that much splash over. I mean, there's a little bit like by the eye. It can't be absolutely perfect, but it looks really good. And Cruiserweight and Champion, they do have the kind of floral on the side of the banners. And then the banners extend to the center stone. I did have to replace these two. It's pretty basic. You can go to Michael's or any craft store and get stones that size. That's a pretty basic size. There is a little bit of kind of schmutz on there on the nameplate. The nameplate is removable. There are screws on the back. But we just had a kind of, you know, gold-plated paper nameplate that I put on there that said the Hurricane. That's Tony's favorite wrestler, so that's what I did. And that came off. He said he lost it, so maybe I'll look into getting a nameplate for that too. You know, it's one of the Figs belts. It's 2 mil. You can get a nameplate from Wrestling Superstore, you know, that kind of thing. It'll be just fine. The one thing that really stands out that I do like is how they used the red for the Cruiserweight. That really differentiates this belt as not necessarily a stock belt that they just add something onto for the different divisions like they do nowadays, you know, where all the belts look the same and it's just a different strap and really tiny along the bottom. You can see what the champion is. They made this one actually a different color, so it stands out. This is the Cruiserweight champion. You know, I do like other world belts. Like I like the Winged Eagle. I'm not saying that it's, you know, lame or different because it doesn't use any different colors or anything. This one just differentiates itself. So now we're gonna look at the strap a tiny bit. For a 2002, this is surprisingly flexible. Like you can hear this is a 2001 and it looks a lot more matted. You know, it's more dull. It sounds plasticky. Come over to this one. It sounds softer. It feels softer. Even the creases between the plates make it look like leather. It almost looks like glossed leather. It's really cool. And the strap is way more flexible. Like you can see, this isn't a very heavy belt, and the strap goes down on itself. Whereas on this one, this is an older one, between the plates, it just stays pretty stiff. It doesn't fall down on itself very easy. This one's surprisingly floppy. I'll show you the flop here. Pardon me. The flop is pretty good. You know, you go down to the corners. It's not a heavy belt. And you hold it, you know, between the plates, it goes right down on itself. This is a really flexible strap. You know, it's really good. Here, we'll go that way for you. For what it is, it's got some good flex to it. At all the joints, flaps right down. Whoop, get a better grip. Flaps right down. I'm not pulling on anything. Just goes right down on itself. Even at the kind of side, it just curves right in on itself. So there it is, a 2002 Cruiserweight Championship replica. It is a nice belt for what it is. I'm not even sure you can get these on shop anymore. But yeah, if you guys could maybe leave a comment on that, let me know. That'll be awesome. For now, that is another video done. This was the Cruiserweight Championship. I will be doing an inside the belt on this one where I take the plates off and we look at the belt and the strap and all stuff like that. So stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. I will talk to you later.